White Sox team can have a really decent season in a really bad division. That's what you guys have to remember. It's a really bad division.
It is.
That's
what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
You have your scab-eating OC holding you back, calling two of the same screenplays in a row during one game, and having you throw two passes, which I was corrected by, one pass in the fourth quarter of a game you were the best player in. Fight me!
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. Bullshit.
A good organization would do, but this is the Bears, not a good organization. So they're going to keep Ryan Poles.
Why?
We just feel our disappointment. That's all.
Yeah, nothing wrong with
Difference
that.
between the Bears and the Bears.
Yeah, we do it when it's still warm outside.
Right, yeah.
We can get out, like October, beginning November, still like 50, 60 degrees. Nowadays, it's still like 70 degrees.
And that way, during the winter, we're still so angry that everything's warm. And welcome to Combs and Fitz, Windy City Sports Talk. It's your boy, Brandon Combs. Oh, my guy, all dressed to the nines, Ryan Fitzgibbons. Fitzy, what's going on, brother?
Going to Sunday school today. Dressing nice in remembrance of Vincent Lombardi. Or whatever the hell. I was already dressed nice, so I thought, why not bring it to the show? Production value.
Production value, yeah. If your takes can't be clean and crisp, at least your wardrobe can.
You can't even say clean and crisp, so
it's the early afternoon rum.
Yes.
I say to the guy who just come from a speech. But man, look, it's the early afternoon. We are about halfway through most of these afternoon games. There's a lot of interesting things going on. Colts look really good right now as they just intercepted another pass off of Geno Smith. They're up 14-3. I didn't think that team was going to be as good as they are at all. Jets and Cowboys have really kind of disappointed. I thought this was going to be a huge over game. It is 10-3 with about 6 minutes to go at halftime. But we'll get into all that stuff a little bit. We're going to talk some football. We'll talk about the Bears. They're on the bye week 5 bye. God, I hate the early bye. But week 5 bye nonetheless for the Bears. But let's start in baseball.
Yeah,
the
why
Chicago
not?
Cubs in the NLDS. They take 2 out of 3 from the Padres in a wild card, which a lot of people did not see coming. A lot of people had some stuff to say about the strikeout call, the Xander Bogaerts, which I agree. You guys are right. It wasn't a strike. But I also agree that I don't care.
Most of baseball are talking about it, but I mean, you could have said that about a lot of calls in that series. It was a really bad strike zone series on both sides. That was a very big at bat, but I still think the Cubs probably pull it out in the end there. But I thought the Cubs were going to win. I didn't get to say it last week. We were a little heavy on the Bears, but I thought the Cubs would win it. I just don't think San Diego had the power, and their starting pitching was not overwhelmingly better than the Cubs. So I just thought really the lack of offense for San Diego was going to hurt them, which kind of did happen. You know, the Cubs offense wasn't very good either, though. So, I mean, they got to do something about the strike zone. I mean, it is like you were living in 1986. Like,
well, they are doing something about the strike zone because next year the ABS challenge system is going to be in baseball.
Sorry. They should have done something about this 15 years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
110%, which is why I don't care about the blown strike call to Bogaerts. Like I don't care. You complain about it all you want, but it happens every single year. Every single year, we argue about a strike zone. We argue about a call to one team or to the next team. One team got a call, one team didn't get a call, and baseball's never done anything about it. And not only that, but in that game, that umpire had a really good game, by the way. For today's standards of umpires, he only had 6 calls where he missed a ball or a strike in that entire game. 4 of them went against the Cubs. 2 of them went against the Padres.
Yeah,
so
it was just
care.
in that spot. Like I said, it was just in that spot, but there was a lot of bad calls in that. Fitz coming straight from a meeting, his probation officer. Hey, you got to stay on schedule, Doubting Thomas. You don't even make it to your meetings with your probation officer. The hell?
He's married to his probation officer.
Yeah, he's married to his probation. Joke of the day. Rim shot.
But yeah, no, I did not care about the strike call. The Cubs won that series, and you say what you want to. San Diego, that strike call against Bogaerts had nothing to do with their top 3 hitters going 0 for 11 in that elimination game. It had nothing to do with it. So,
yeah, no,
sorry, not sorry.
You couldn't get the ball to Miller. That is a thing. Holy cow! Is that a pitcher there?
He hit 104 at the knees on the inside corner on Wednesday.
And that's not his best pitch. Did you know that's not his best pitch? His best pitch is a slider.
Yeah, and I know.
He's unbelievable. Maybe someone you should have maybe thought of trading for. Although, you remember me throwing that out there at the trade deadline? Yeah.
And then the Padres going and doing it? Yeah. I remember that.
Going and doing it for a Padres team that I think it just has a lot of problems. But I mean, we can get into it if you want. But I really want your view on the next series, on what you thought about what this past series bodes for them first. I mean, I don't think we really need to talk about the Padres.
The debacle that was yesterday. Look, I said this on Friday on BetMGM tonight. You have a 34-year-old pitcher on Tommy John, coming off of Tommy John, I should say. This is his first year pitching off of Tommy John surgery. He's 34 years old. He was a great story in the wild card game. And he had a rough September, kind of a rough August as well. And you went and pitched him game 1. That was your game 1 starter in the NLDS against a Milwaukee Brewers team that was coming off of a week's rest. Well, sometimes that can hurt you, sometimes it can help you. But that's who you decided to go with instead of a guy like maybe Javier Assad, who hadn't pitched since last Sunday. They left him off of the NLDS roster, which I don't understand that as well. But Assad against the Brewers, a 2.19 ERA in his career. That, to me, I don't know about you. Last time I checked, 2.19 ERA is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. And instead, you decided to go with a 34-year-old man who is on his year off of Tommy John surgery, who pitched his ass off in the wild card round 3 days prior, and you're going to go short rest with this guy. I didn't like it from the start. And I said that. I don't like the idea of going Boyd game 1, and it cost the Cubs. That loss in game 1 is solely on the decision to pitch Matthew Boyd. That loss in game 1 is solely on the manager, Craig Counsell. What do you mean,
I think it's
what else would you put it on?
I think it's on the GM who didn't pick up a starting pitcher at the trade deadline. Or
the Brewers didn't score a run after the second inning, Fitzy.
Yeah. What?
The Brewers didn't score a run after the second inning.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go with Boyd. You're not making these decisions whether to go with one guy who's 34 and another guy that nobody knows exists. Like, yeah, I mean, Javier Assad, yeah, he's good, but outside of Chicago, no one knows he exists. For a reason, he is not an ace. Neither is Imanaga, who gave up a big home run and almost cost them the series in the wild card round. I mean, gave up a giant home run on a terrible pitch to Manny Machado. I mean, this is still the same problem. They are a bad starting pitching team, and that's why they're going to lose this series against Milwaukee. I mean, I thought so beforehand. It's why they almost lost the series to San Diego. I mean, the only time San Diego ever got a hit was against Cubs starting pitching. I think that's the problem. I mean, you could say Craig Counsell this and Craig Counsell that, and I don't think he's been a good manager, especially. But I mean, when I'm sorry, when you don't have one ace, you don't barely have a second pitcher on this team. Do you have a good number two or a great number two on this team?
What do you mean a number two?
Like
you gotta have a number one to have a number two.
Exactly.
The Cubs have a whole rotation.
A really good number two on this team. I just don't think
if Shota Imanaga is in LA, if he's a Dodger, he's a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. And he's probably your best starter. I mean, Boyd's been good in spots. You mentioned Assad in spots, and Cade Horton. Oh yeah, what if he was here? He's a young pitcher. He hasn't never pitched this many innings. It happens almost every year that a young pitcher gets hurt late in the season. Like, what are they? They were pinning their hopes on Cade Horton. Like, I just, it's really frustrating, even not being a fan, because I'm rooting for the Cubs to be good so we could talk about them. One. And just because, I'm a fan of watching things that other people are, almost everybody around me seems to be a fan of. And this team is just like, it's frustrating that they don't have the starting pitching, and that's probably going to lose them in the playoffs. Probably losing.
They don't have the starting pitch. They do have the lineup, though, that if the lineup starts clicking, they can hit with anybody in the league. But then the lineup has to start clicking. And Ian Happ has been atrocious. He was atrocious in the wild card round. He had an okay game yesterday. Hit a home run yesterday. Hopefully that gets him going. You look at PCA. PCA had 3 hits in that elimination game against the Padres. That seemed to have got him going. He had a hit yesterday as well. So hopefully that starts to roll things for the Cubs. But you're right. I mean, the Cubs probably have the worst starting pitching staff left in the playoffs. I can't think of one that's much worse than the Cubs. The Yankees may be the only other team that don't have a bona fide ace in their rotation right now in the playoffs, and that's because their ace is hurt.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, we knew that was going to be the problem coming in, though. And we've said all year long that was a problem for the Cubs all year long, but I'm tired of those excuses now because 92 wins. You got 92 wins without an ace. You need 3 more. I mean, there's so much that you can go off of, that you can talk to about what the Cubs season was and how they weren't good after this point and how they didn't do this and how they didn't do that. They won 92 games. They had the 4th best record in all of Major League Baseball without an ace, without doing this, without doing that. That had nothing to do with yesterday's game. Yesterday's game was the decision to pitch Matthew, because Matthew Boyd wasn't the only choice you had. Colin Ray's out there. He hadn't pitched. He hadn't been a starter in over a week. I don't care. It doesn't matter about what the quality of of the name of the pitcher, right? But Colin Ray's had a quietly good season. You look at Javier Assad, who it should probably be the most fresh arm in the Cubs rotation because he was out for 5 months of the season. So the decision to pitch Boyd on short rest, it just makes no sense. And I don't care who else is in your rotation. I really don't, because you have to pitch one of these guys with a rested arm. And you have a guy with a rested arm who just so happens to have a 2.19 ERA against the team you're pitching against. Like, that for me is the decision. Yes, I know they don't have an ace. Yes, I know choices are limited with this pitching rotation. But you did have another option out there that was actually a legitimately good option that nobody would have questioned had you done it. Now people are questioning you about Matthew Boyd because the decision to pitch Matthew Boyd was a terrible one. And it was a terrible one from the start. It was a questionable one from the time that they made the decision. So that's where I have the problem.
I just think that good offensive teams can win a lot in the regular season, and they very rarely win in the postseason. They fell. I mean, you can go back to the 2001 Seattle Mariners. You can go to the 2000 Chicago White Sox, who were by far the best offensive team in the league, and they got swept by the 2000 Seattle Mariners. You can go to any Yankee team without Andy Pettitte or Roger Clemens in it of the last 25 years. There's a lot of Yankees teams in there, and we talk about it. Oh yeah, the Yankees can make the playoffs. They can't win in the playoffs because they can hit well. They just never seem to have the starting pitching to get them all the way there. I mean, might be, I could go with that. That's the decision, that it's a decision thing. But I mean, if you have an ace on this team, then you don't have to make a decision. Then you already have the guy.
Because you would still
extending. If they win this, which I don't think that yesterday's game was that important. I think they still have to win one game, and then they can bring it back to Cubdom. I don't think it's super important. I think they could still salvage a series, but you get into a 7-game series. Now an ace is really important because an ace can win you 2 or 3 games in a 7-game series. A really good ace can. A really good ace is not pitching 4 innings. A really good ace is not pitching 4 innings.
This is a 5-game series, first of all, and even if you had an
ace, I just said I know it's a 5-game series. Next series, you're not listening to me. When you get into a 7-game series, it's going to be even more important to have an ace, and you don't have to. This team is not built for the postseason. They know it, and they don't give a shit. They'll feed you your fucking garbage, and you'll love it. And you'll be high-fiving off the L while you're doing it.
You still would have been okay with going with an ace on 3 days rest as opposed to even Javier Assad, who, like I said, has such good success against the Brewers, who would be pitching on a full week's rest?
I think if you have
still, to me, would be a bad decision.
An ace on this team, you're not in a wild card round. I think if you're not having ace on this team, you're not even in the wild card round, and your ace is rested. Thank you.
I can't even take him seriously when he's dressed like this.
Is it the beard or is it the tie? Or is it both?
Is it the tie that matches the beard?
I mean, yeah, probably. It's just, I do think baseball is so complex that sometimes we tie ourselves in knots, but I think it's pretty easy. It's always been the pitching. And it's even more in this sport now.
Definitely in boxers, for sure.
Yeah, I'm at least wearing boxers. It's warm in here. It's warm in here. We got an Indian summer going on. Am I allowed to say that?
I don't know.
An Indian summer. But
I actually questioned the other day getting on the Metro whether or not I was allowed to wear a Blackhawks hat.
Yeah, who knows? They might change it soon. How do the Cubs win this series?
They've got to hit. I mean, this series is winnable. Beyond Peralta, which he pitches so well against the Cubs as well. So this was always going to be a tough game 1 for the Cubs anyway, with Milwaukee coming off a rest and facing a pitcher who's just owned you throughout his career. But now their pitching is basically the same as yours. Beyond Peralta, the Brewers don't have much. Woodruff is not available in this series. Woodruff might not be available in the entire playoffs for the Brewers. They don't have a very good pitching staff. They don't have a very good bullpen. You've got to hit. Your offense has got to come alive in this series if you are going to win it. If the Cubs are planning on winning this series the same way they won against the San Diego Padres, with bullpen and only scoring 3 runs, it's not going to happen. This Milwaukee Brewers team is too good of a contact team. They are much better than the Padres are at making contact. They know how to manufacture runs.
Much better defensively.
They scored 9 runs yesterday, and the Cubs had the only home run.
Yeah.
So
they're also a better defensive team, I think, than the Padres. Yeah. And they do have some pop, too. That Padres team, not very good, but not to say that they could have beat the Cubs anyway, but almost any baseball team can do that. Crisscross applesauce summer. Chris across applesauce summer. It's bullpen versus bullpen, and that's a coin flip.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, if we start game 0, they're game up now. But you know, you could the next game that I feel like the Cubs have to win. I mean,
yeah. I mean, because then you have to win 3 straight.
Yeah, you have to win 2 and then come back to Milwaukee.
Yeah, you have to steal 1 in Milwaukee, and then I mean, I'd like to see the Cubs take 2. I don't want to see this series go 5 because then you got to face Peralta again, and you're probably going to have Matthew Boyd back on the mound again. So, not to say that Matthew Boyd might go out his next outing and they ambushed Matthew Boyd. This is not a team. The Brewers all year long were not a team that would swing early in the counts. They were swinging first and second pitch the entire first inning yesterday against Matthew Boyd. I mean, they just ambushed Matthew. I think he went in there knowing, hey, look, 90% of the time you can throw a first pitch strike because they're not swinging. And that's what he went in there thinking. And everybody just hit. And it was one of those games, but you got to put it in your rear view. You've got to put it in the rear view because you've got to be able to move on from that. All right, got our asses kicked. You know, after the second inning, we won that game 2-0. But the problem is the first 2 innings still counted. So
9 innings.
Yeah, you've got to be able to hit. You've got to be able to put runs on the board. And you should be able to do that against the rest of this Brewers pitching staff. You really should. And that's how the Cubs are going to win this series. And if the bullpen can pitch, if the bullpen pitches the way that it pitched in San Diego, and the rotation can stop, and not go and give up 5-6 runs, this Cubs team's in good shape as long as they can score.
Ben Brown owns the Brewers. Do you have any?
He does own the Brewers. He pitched yesterday. He pitched, what did he pitch? 2 innings, 3 innings yesterday.
So he's not starting.
I don't think we'll see him start. I mean, I think honestly, it's probably game 3 is probably Colin Ray would be my guess. Maybe Ben Brown though. At this point, I don't put anything past Craig Counsell. If you're willing to pitch Matthew Boyd off of 3 days rest, then maybe you're willing to do whatever. And I guess a lot of that also hinges on what happens tomorrow night. Because if you lose that game, then it's all hands on deck. You don't have a choice. Every game from here on out is an elimination game if you lose tomorrow night. So we'll see. Before the series, I thought the Cubs would win the series. And I thought that they would win the series in 4. I still think that the Cubs are going to win this series. And I still think the Cubs are going to win this series in 4. I really do. So, I wouldn't be surprised. If the Brewers do win this series, if the Brewers sweep this series, I'm not surprised. They were the best team in baseball all year long, guys. Best team in baseball all year long. So we shouldn't be shocked that the Brewers were good.
No.
What do you mean?
No, I'm not, I have the Brewers winning this. If you had a microphone in front of me, I would have the Brewers winning this series. I just think they do a lot of things better than the Cubs. A few too many, and I think they're going to win the series. I think they win the series in 4, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Do you think that it matters? Do you think that the Padres Dodgers
matters that the Brewers beat the Cubs?
I'm saying, do you think it matters? Do you think it matters whoever wins this series? Do you think it matters because the Dodgers and the Phillies are playing the other divisional series? Do you think that the winner of that one?
That's a good question. Actually, that's a pretty good question, and you'd be stupid if not to think the Dodgers are not playing the best baseball they've been playing all year, man. They look really good. They look
down 3-0 yesterday.
Cincinnati series, and I think Cincinnati was the better of the other 2 wild card teams. I think Cincinnati was better than Padres. I could be wrong, and they just piled on Cincinnati and. Yeah, I mean, they beat the Phillies yesterday. They're playing their best baseball now. It's hard to see them. It's hard to see someone beating them, but Yeah, and those are two really good teams. Those might be the best two teams. Yeah, it may not matter. It may not matter at all because I have the Phillies winning the National League, and it's a shame that it's not the NLCS.
Maybe it is the NLCS.
Kind of like last year when the Ravens played the Bills.
Yeah.
I would have liked to see that Ravens team or that Bills team play the Philadelphia Eagles, and we probably wouldn't have had the clunker of the Super Bowl we had. That to me was kind of the Super Bowl. Those were the two best teams I thought that far. I mean, the Eagles kind of shut me up there a little bit at the end in the Super Bowl, but I thought the Ravens and the Bills were the best two teams in the league last year. Maybe not this year. I don't know.
They wouldn't have shut down a mobile quarterback in Allen or Lamar the way that they shut down Mahomes. I don't think.
And now Ravens have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
Playing today.
Yeah. It's something, dude. The Dolphins the Panthers are.
Yeah, your Panthers are really getting it today.
Disappointing. It's 17-10 at halftime, so it's not like they're not like getting destroyed. They're down by a touchdown.
I didn't see the Panthers. I do have Red Zone on, but I didn't see the Panthers getting a touchdown. But
yeah, I mean the Raiders are pretty damn bad. They're down 20-3 to the Colts right now. You've got the Jets and the Cowboys at 17-3 right now, getting ready to head into halftime. The Jets are 48 seconds. They're starting a drive from their own 20. So let's see what happens there. I thought this would be a more high-scoring game, but I also felt like this might have been a wake-up game for the Cowboys defense. I thought this was a spot where the Cowboys could be a game where they finally stop an offense from scoring a ton of points.
I said Cooper Kupp, didn't I? It's Cooper Rush.
Cooper Rush. Get your Cooper straight, Arch Manning.
The terrible name, Jeremiah. Arch Manning stinks.
Arch Manning does stink. Yeah, college football yesterday was. I mean,
are we just talking to each other like we're talking on the phone right now, or are we doing a show? Or I don't know what's happening.
We're doing a show, but I'm also going based off of the comments as well. Jeremiah talking about Texas yesterday.
Are you high? You're wandering a little bit. I need you to focus.
I'm going based off of Jeremiah's comments.
I wear a tie. I need you to focus up. Okay, is Arch Manning bad?
Arch Manning he's not very good right now, but he's also a freshman. And so you got to give it a little bit of time. He does not look good. The defenses are able to confuse him, and he does not look good, but he doesn't look as bad as Drew Aller does. And Franklin losing that game to that UCLA team, UCLA's first win of the season. They're now 1-4. You were ranked 9th in the country.
I like seeing Penn State lose. Makes me happy.
James Franklin. I'll be shocked if James Franklin has a job at the end of the season. I would have fired him at halftime.
Trump can't pronounce Tua's name.
Neither can Fitzy.
Get out of my house.
What's Tua's last name?
Are we talking football or not?
What's Tua's last name?
It's just gibberish, folks. It's the entire time. It's a conspiracy. It's highly apologetic and sometimes blasphemous. Sports talk.
Tagovailoa.
I was close. I was close. Welcome in. Yes. At halftime, and I'm sure you'll probably know where I'm going to this, at halftime of the Raiders-Bears game with the Raiders down, the Bears down, Ben Johnson obviously got held down by a reporter and did this.
Your offense has struggled to take advantage of those takeaways.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you tell them to get things going?
That it wasn't our brand of football. We're capable of a lot more, and so we're hitting the reset button here at halftime, and we're going to come back and establish our identity here in the second half.
So you need to change what you're doing.
I don't know. You think so? We're going to be just fine.
Oh my God, how dare he? Grab my cape and my driving gloves, Combs. Let's go get Ben Johnson and burn him at the stake. How could he have done such a thing? Of course, Ben Johnson had to apologize after that. And, like every sports news affiliate had to talk about it for some reason. I don't know why. Those halftime reports, which I almost never listen to, are awkward. They are as awkward as having a conversation with your dad about his testicular cancer. Not a conversation I want to have. Can we stop doing the halftime reports? Can we stop interviewing coaches who have a million things to do in 12 minutes, and then you want to ask them how their team is doing when they have 90 yards in the first half? Like, what are we doing here? Can we please stop? And if we're trying to help women into sports, why are we giving them these jobs? Can we have some dude go out there? Can't Combs get out there and put his microphone into Ben Johnson's face? I doubt he has that reaction to Combs. Maybe he will have that reaction.
Well, Combs wouldn't ask that question.
But what question are you supposed to ask at halftime? Especially when a guy's down.
What was your message to your team?
It was a really bad question. And Ben Johnson, why are you saying sorry? I still have no idea what you did. I have no idea what people are talking about. And that this happens to me, and I'm probably getting old, but this happens to me way too often, where I have no idea what people are doing wrong, what they said wrong, how they acted wrong. I don't get it. Please tell me. And that's Fitz gibberish. Combs.
Look, he had absolutely nothing to apologize for.
I don't get it.
Not only that, but I think his reaction was more to the fact that that second part, she didn't ask a question. She didn't ask a question. She made a statement. Oh, so you got to do better than what you've been doing. Yeah, you think? I mean, like, first of all, I mean, I don't need to listen to the head coach or any coach for that matter speak at halftime. I just don't. Not on the way in, not on the way out. I just don't need it. Before the game, after the game, absolutely. During the game, absolutely not. What are they going to give you anyway? Do you think he's going to come in and be like, yeah, look, we didn't run enough play action. We're going to run a lot more play action in this half. We're gonna be using our running backs, and we're gonna try to run to the left side a lot more because we saw a couple of holes on the left side.
Yeah.
What do you think he's going to tell you? They need to stop with the halftime interviews. I don't think that any coach has to apologize for. I'd be more apt to listen to James Franklin apologize for stealing money from Penn State for taking a head coaching position. That would be to listen to Ben Johnson apologize for talking to a reporter the way that he talked to the reporter.
Every time I hear any athlete, any coach, all it reminds me of is I just want to watch the game. I don't want to hear you explain the game even. I mean, maybe explain yourself or like talk a little bit about the strategy of a game, which even before and after games, especially NFL coaches, they're not going to tell you much. I want to hear maybe an injury report, but I could have a reporter do that. Like, I don't want to ever hear the players. It's the best reality sport on the planet for a reason. Play the damn game. I don't care what you have to say. Why do we have to be up each other's butts so much? We all talk all day online, all day on social media, and we say how much we hate each other. And then we want to videotape every goddamn thing we're ever doing and talk to each other about everything. Like, stop. And I still don't get what he did wrong. Was he a little bit angry? Was he a little bit pissed off? So what? He's a football coach. What do you think he's going to be? Mike Ditka once spit like 20 pieces of gum into a woman's hair. She had to like cut around it. Like he used to chew like 20 pieces of gum at once. I think he spit it into a woman's hair once. Look up the story. It's a real story. Like, what are we doing here? Okay, tell me.
It's
I don't want to see the sidelines or the fans. I want to see the formations and the defensive coverage. You're not nuts.
Yeah.
You're not nuts. No.
You know what would be a better angle of the field when you're watching the game? The all 22. Where you can see all 22 players on the field, and I don't have to wait till Tuesday to see what my quarterback has missed and what my coach is doing incorrectly and what the play call was and what I don't need to see the 50-yard line angle. I don't need to see the close-up view. After a touchdown, sure, pan in on the celebration, do all that stuff. Ball's in the air, ball's been being snapped. I want to see all 22.
Yeah, you don't have to do it every time, I guess. I just think they do, because the side view is just more dramatic. That's why
when you look at baseball, though, look at baseball. Like right before the pitches, every time you get that view from behind the pitcher, into the batter. Every time, right before the pitch, they go right back to the center field camera, and they show you that view every time. So you could do the same thing in the NFL. Right after the play, after the ball is thrown and the ball's caught or the ball is being run, then go ahead and go to the shot. But pre-snap and while the play is in progress, I want to see the formation. I want to see the all 22.
Yeah, you could do it every third down as well. If it's third and long, it's going to be a passing play anyway. You could go to that view. You could do something like that. I agree with that as well. I mean, it's almost always about something else other than the sport. It's like everybody in the media is trying to make it about something else than the sport.
Especially when you're watching a Kansas City Chiefs game or you're watching any game where the quarterback's girlfriend is hot.
Yeah,
exactly. I don't see 75 shots of the quarterback's girlfriend. We get it. He's got a smoking hot girlfriend. You know what? He's a millionaire. They've all got smoking hot girlfriends. We don't care.
The only point where your argument breaks down is when Kurt Warner was playing, because his wife was, I'm sorry, not good looking. She looked like she drive a Subaru Outback. And you could go ahead and look that up, what I mean by that. But
I work at a radio. You do your best. You do your best to try to get me fired when we're on. I work at a radio station that has Kurt Warner on weekly, so I'm going to refrain from comment.
He's a great quarterback. Quarterback for a long time.
One of the best. So top 10 all time.
The movie they made about him, not so much. Wife, not so much. They showed her a lot too. They just kept showing her.
I just want to be known, since we're live on Twitter, live on Twitch, live on YouTube, that the thoughts and opinions of Ryan Fitzgibbons are the thoughts and opinions of only Ryan Fitzgibbons.
You seemed to like my Fitz gibberish. Now it's all breaking down.
I did like your Fitz gibberish.
I
might even like your last statement, but I just can't confirm.
And this is another thing. Like, now is he going to be less himself? Thus, be less himself in front of the players. I mean, I don't know if that's what Ben Johnson does after this, after having to, tuck his tail between his legs and say he's sorry.
Yeah, part of me thinks that part of that was that's who Ben Johnson is. And maybe he didn't mean for it to come off the way that it came off, and he probably didn't. But I just don't care that it came off the way it came off, because it was a bad question, and it was a bad reaction to the question. She's like, "So you got to change everything you've been doing." Like, you think? We're losing, so yeah, we have to change what we've been doing. Like, I don't know. He didn't have anything to apologize for. But the Bears did go ahead and win that game. And it was a good game. You win a game in which a team scores 24 points, which you hadn't done since 2021. You win a game where their running back went off for 3+ touchdowns. It's a good win for the Bears. And now you get the bye week, and then you get the Commanders on Monday Night Football, and then you get the Saints after that. This Commanders team, I don't know what that. Yeah, they get Jaden Daniels back today. I know a lot of people are picking them today. I don't know why. Yes, they get Jaden Daniels back today, but there's no Terry McLaurin. There's no Noah Brown. Deebo Samuel didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, so who knows how healthy he is. I don't, I think that this Bears team is headed in a very good direction. Megan TV, oh my goodness.
You can read it. You can read it.
You can read it. Go ahead. It's your sister.
And these bitches want equal treatment. Plus, could you pull up Jeremiah's last comment, please? If his wife asks you if you're a god, you say yes. He's obviously referencing Ghostbusters. Now, bad lady from Ghostbusters, Kurt Warner's wife.
Oh, no.
Bad lady from Ghostbusters, Kurt Warner's wife. Bad lady from Ghostbusters, Kurt Warner. Are you okay? Is it the rum again?
I just told you why we can't do that bit.
I ain't afraid of no ghosts. You're
You're gonna be afraid of something. You're gonna have to pay my bills soon. Unbelievable. How nice it is to win a game you played badly and you scored 25 instead of 9.
Yeah.
It'd be ironic if your boys got banned and it had nothing to do with me.
That would be kind of ironic, especially trying to explain your profile picture always is illustrating like sexual harassment in the office, like 50% of the time. And then other 50% of the time, it's like the most terrible characters that were ever in TV and movies. And occasionally a Detroit flag. That's like all of his that's 90% of his profile pictures. Doubting
And
Thomas.
Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, look, I'm optimistic about the Bears moving forward. I really am. I think that this Bears team moving forward can be a team that stays relevant for most of the year. I think they're going to have games where, they score 20 and they lose because they give up 35. I think the Ravens game might be that. There's going to be games where they win and you don't think that they're going to have a chance of winning. I think maybe the 49ers game could turn into that. You've just got to be patient with the process, and I think that that's what we saw through the first 2 weeks, and then what we're seeing the payoff in the final 2 weeks before the bye, right? Because you see what it was against Green Bay and what it was against Detroit, and then you got the rebound. And are you the best team in the division? Probably not. But are you better than what you showed in those 2 divisional games? Probably. And moving forward, that's what we can hope for because it's better than what we've had. Is it not?
It's a little bit better, yes. At least it seems like we have a competent coach. I don't know if we have a competent GM. I just don't think we do. And I don't think the Bears do. I don't work for the Bears, thank God. I don't think that they just don't have a competent GM. And you cannot, if you don't have a consistent offensive line or somewhat consistent offensive line, and you can't rush the quarterback, you're having a problem.
Yeah.
You can't bet on your team to your defense to have 4 turnovers every game until the end of the season. They would crush the single season record for turnovers. You can't have 4 turnovers in a game and win by 1 point because you got actually 5 turnovers if you count the block kick at the end. You can't bet on that to win games. That is not the only time that it's ever been.
I mean, the Baltimore Ravens without Lamar now, they're down 31-3 to the Houston Texans, who before last week had 0 wins on the season.
Yeah, they did. And the Baltimore Ravens are not making the playoffs. But while you were talking about the Bears, are you getting ready to say the word?
What?
Playoffs.
No.
Combsy.
I'm still at 8 to 9 wins with this team.
Combsy. Doubting
It's
Thomas.
still an 8 to 9 win team.
Doubting Thomas is saying Bears' schedule is starting to look easier than it was thought to.
He's right, because now you're going up against an injured Commanders team next week. Then you go up against the Saints, which you're a better football team than the Saints. But then you get a Bengals team with a really bad defense and Joe Burrow out for the season. You get a Ravens team who is 1-4 right now, 1-5, might be 1-5 next week because they play against the Los Angeles Chargers. Are they going to be in a rush to bring Lamar back? Do you get the Ravens without Lamar Jackson? Ooh. You know what I mean? So now all of a sudden you are looking at a much easier schedule because of injuries. Even that 49ers game, man. The 49ers are decimated by injuries. Yeah, they still looked good on Thursday night. It was a good game, and Christian McCaffrey's still one of the best running backs in the league. But when you look at the Bears schedule, it does start to play out, and it does start to look a little bit easier because of the injury thing. But playoffs, I'm not going to say that until later on in the season. I'm giving this until, like, I believe Jeremiah was the one who said it earlier, and I'm kind of there with him now. I'll know what this team is by Thanksgiving.
You'll know who this team is by that Eagles game on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving.
There's another team that's struggling. The Eagles haven't looked. That offense has been atrocious this year. I mean, I don't think Jalen Hurts has a touchdown pass yet. He might have had one today, but I don't think he's had one yet.
Barkley hasn't been. It's hard to match a 2,000-yard season, but he hasn't exactly been the same back as he was last year.
I don't think he's had an 80-yard rush game yet. Barkley. I mean, now you would think that going up against that Bears run defense would probably be the time that he would go ahead and break out of that. But you just never know. That's what I'm saying. Like the schedule that we thought was such a gauntlet, in Doubting Thomas is right, might not be the gauntlet we thought it was at the beginning of the year.
Let's say you sweep. You take the Commanders. They're kind of a hurt team. Jaden Daniels is back from what I hear, though.
He is, but he's got no wide receivers. They're all hurt.
Yeah, so I would think they could at least beat the Saints. The Ravens are hurt. The Bengals are hurt. They swept all those games. They're 6-2. They're 6-2.
Yeah, they're a playoff team.
That's before.
If they're 6-2, they're a playoff team. Looking at the rest of their schedule, absolutely. You don't think so?
This guy does this.
They're not better than the Carson Wentz-led Minnesota Vikings? They're not good for 2 wins against that Viking team?
2 wins? They've already lost the game. When are they going to play them again?
Not to the Vikings.
They lost to
week 1. Sorry. Yeah, I'm thinking about. I thought it was. Yeah, you're right.
Savior.
So you're good for 1 more win. So there's 7, right? You're probably good for a split with the Packers. There's 8. You're going to beat the Vikings or the Lions the next time you play them because you always split inside your division. They're better than the Lions anyway.
You had Green Bay in the Super Bowl, didn't you?
I did.
That defense
was really, really damn good. I mean, look, you put the Dallas thing aside because that Dallas offense can score, man, unless they're playing the Bears apparently, which made the Bears look like the '85 Bears were back. I still think that they're good. I still think they're good enough to be one of the best teams in the NFC. Yeah, so I wouldn't back off of the Packers going to the Super Bowl just yet. I didn't have them winning the Super Bowl. I had them going to the Super Bowl.
No, you had them going. I said you had them going to the Super Bowl, not winning it.
Yeah.
Don't forget the Bears have had their yearly 10-game losing streak. Yeah, there's a reason for that. That you and Combsies, we're not doing this again. Put that comment down. We're not doing this again. You were already wrong. We were all right. We're not doing this again. Or I swear to God, I'll go back to Kurt Warner's wife and how much she looks like the bad lady from Ghostbusters.
She looks like she smokes a pack of the Virginia Slims a day. The Jalen Hurts a bona fide top 10 quarterback.
He is.
I think what he wants to do is take that and compare the numbers of Caleb. Because Caleb's numbers right now, when you put them next to Jalen Hurts' numbers, Caleb's a Hall of Famer.
Well, right now, this season, yes.
Yeah.
Obviously, his numbers are better than Bo Nix's numbers this season so far.
Well,
what is he got? 28 touchdowns and 8. Yeah. His numbers are better than CJ Stroud's since he played CJ Stroud last year. Much better.
Yeah.
I don't know what CJ Stroud's doing today. Looks like he's having a fun time out there, but I don't see this. I don't see this Bears team. I think part of it is because of if Caleb Williams stays healthy, I don't see them losing 10 games in a row.
You would be having a lot of fun too if you were playing against Cooper Rush, who kept turning the ball over in the red zone. You'd be having a great day too. Unbelievable.
And somehow your Giants are losing to the Saints.
I know. I'm watching. I got that game up too. I thought I look, when people said that the Saints were favored, I scoffed at it because I thought it was a gross overreaction to the Saints being able to hang with Buffalo last week. And I thought that the way the Giants played against the Chargers was a kudos to the Giants. But that goes to tell you that's why, like, especially in the NFL, and especially when it comes to player comparisons, when you're trying to compare, what Bo Nix is doing compared to what Caleb is doing, or what Caleb's doing compared to what Jalen Hurts is doing. It's tough because week by week it's a different scheme, it's a different game plan, it's a different different adjustments get made, different everything. Players don't play exactly the same. One week they might have a great week, the next week they have an off week. Like, it's just the way that it goes, and it's kind of what you're seeing here with the Saints and Giants game, right? Like the Giants looked really. Jackson Dart still has looked really good in this game as well. So it's just every week is different, and you can't compare what one player is doing in one system compared to what another player is doing in another. The common one right now here in Chicago is Caleb compared to Justin Fields. And what is Justin Fields doing in New York, and blah, blah, blah. Well, right now, Justin Fields has put up 3 points against the Dallas Cowboys in the first half.
Yeah, probably one of the worst defenses in the league. He is not playing well. Aaron Glenn, that defense isn't playing well either. I don't know if you can be in the hot seat 5 games in, but he might be in the hot seat. He might have a very
Jackson Dart just fumbled the ball with nobody touching him.
Bryce Young did that today, your boy.
Oh, Jackson Dart, you're killing me.
Hang on, let me get my hand lotion. That Justin Fields is bad. And it looks like, at least on this Jets team, that's true, and possibly true, period. But I don't think he's going to stop having backup quarterback jobs. I don't think he's going to stop starting some games in the NFL. I don't think that's ever going to end. Sorry, Tyler.
He had a throw earlier with a God, give me flashbacks. Wide open, freaking was Garrett
Wilson. Yeah.
Garrett Wilson, and he just like overthrew him by 10 yards.
Yep, he made that throw against Pittsburgh earlier in the year, so maybe the wheels are falling off and Jets.
Yeah. You never know.
Justin Fields has never won when the opposing team has scored 21 points or more, but neither did the team he started the most games for. The Bears barely have ever won. Isn't last week the first time the Bears ever won when a team has scored over 23 points against them or something? Didn't you have
No, it's the first time since 2021 that they had done that. First time since 2021 when they beat the Lions 25-24. Yeah. But look, this Jonathan Taylor, another touchdown. This dude is having a year.
He's pretty good, man. He ran all over the Bears last year, but lots of players did that last year.
Yeah. Yeah, he's having a great season. Great first 4 weeks now, 5 weeks for Jonathan Taylor. You look at the Bears next week. You got Monday Night Football, prime time against the Commanders. Revenge spot, right? Because of the Hail Mary last year.
Yeah.
You'd like to see the Bears go out there and take care of business, especially if there's no Terry McLaurin, especially if there's still no Noah Brown. If you're missing your top 2 wide receivers, granted you have Jaden Daniels, but you should be able to contain that.
Yeah, and I think Dennis Allen is starting to figure out this defense a little bit and the talent he has. I think in the first game that was sort of a fake out where he thought, pretty good. The defense did somewhat good in that first game. It was just that last quarter where it got a little icky, which happens to a lot of good defenses. Icky. I don't think that's a formal term, but
I was just gonna say, did he fuck in or something?
I think he thought he might get some pressure with his front 4, front 5 going into that Detroit game. And didn't blitz as much, wasn't ready in that Detroit game, and it just kind of all fell apart. And then they came back in the Dallas game, played pretty well. And I think they played pretty well against the Raiders, too. You even heard freaking Montez Sweat's name called a couple of times. Like, I think he's starting to understand that, we're not going to get any pressure. So I have to dial up some pressure. I have to do some things with my zones and maybe disguising zone and going to man, doing all those things that they do to confuse offenses, which Dennis Allen already does. But I think he knows he has to work overtime now. And he was on the field last week. He was up in the booth for a couple weeks. I just think he knows that he has to work overtime with this defense because they're not getting a lot of pressure. They got all these injuries, and that's a bad combination when you're not getting all these. And all your defensive backs are hurt, or most of them are. Luckily, Tyreek Stevenson isn't.
And Jeremiah wants to know if we're going to get Eggs Benedict. You are going to get Theo Benedict at left tackle. He is going to be your starting left tackle coming out of the bye week. That's what has been reported. That is what is expected of the Bears to be doing, is that Braxton Jones will be sat.
Apology accepted. Apology accepted.
Will be starting.
Everybody listening to this show, including you son of a bitch, you fucking son of a bitch, Combs. Apology accepted. Apology accepted. We have a Canadian football player playing left tackle for our team. Apology accepted. Because we were not obsessed with the left tackle position. We don't have any hurt tackles. We have a bunch of tackles that can't play left tackle.
Well, tell your uncle, Ryan Pauls, to do a better job of drafting.
Who have they drafted? They drafted one. He's a rookie. You want your rookie to come in there?
Do a better job of drafting. Draft a left tackle instead of trading down 5 times in the third round.
You mean instead of another receiver?
Instead of another receiver, instead of going with another tight end at number 10, like instead of maybe trading down 5 times in the 3rd round, maybe trade back up into the first, like all sorts of things the Bears could have done different. I'm not going to apologize to you because the Bears didn't go and take a left tackle. That's not my doing.
You yelled at me on this fake broadcast. You yelled at me on this fake broadcast many times that I was obsessed with the left tackle position. I was obsessed with it. I even researched it. We haven't had an all-pro left tackle since Jimbo Covert. I was shitting in not my pants, but in a diaper. The last time we've had an all-pro tackle. We've had a couple tackles go to a Pro Bowl. Why are we doing this? I'll go back to the Kurt Warner wife thing.
We here at Combs and Fitz are on the lookout for a new co-host for Combs. Because apparently Ryan Fitzgibbons thinks this is a fake broadcast. Anybody who wants to take this seriously is more than welcome to come
I'm
on.
wearing a tie.
I told you, just because you're wearing a tie and just because your outfit is clean and crisp does not mean that your takes are, sir.
I look like the host of a radio show where like the world is about to end and like I'm the last guy broadcasting what's happening.
You look like the host of a bad game show that's about to get canceled.
Yes, possible too.
And it's about, you were just told by one of the contestants that they heard somebody talking about the show getting canceled, and you just don't care anymore.
And it's Family Feud, and I'm hitting on the wife of one. Never mind. I think you look really cute, right? Like shining up an old penny. Don't let Combs get you sweaty. Thanks, Megan TV. I don't know who you are, but
like shining up an old penny that you find on the ground.
Here we go. Don't look into it too far.
Is that what your sister's?
It's not a thinker. Of a
comparing you to?
That's not my sister. That's just one of our fans. One of our many, many fans. County Probation Department. We're still going to need a urine sample. Oh my God. That's wrong. It's wrong.
That might be his best one yet. Now you know that was your sister saying it because he was too busy doing this.
Yeah, this isn't even really a show. This is just like us talking on the phone at this point. Is this going out there? Is this on anywhere?
Oh yeah. We've got plenty of people watching us right now too. Out there on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. So yeah.
Eggs Benedict. Are we like really doing this? Is this our left tackle? Okay. And nobody's injured. Is Braxton the swing tackle or is Trapillo? I feel like it's a problem if Trapillo is the swing tackle, just because then that's how bad Braxton Jones, the guy you led off the season with as your left tackle, is. You can put Fitz in a good loafer, though. I'd have to put pants on for that.
And the Saints have gone away from Spencer Rattler. Taysom Hill is now playing quarterback and driving them down the field.
Is it one? Is it? Oh, was it just one play? I was going to ask.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it is.
Boy,
Taysom Hill's back on the sideline. Taysom Hill's back on the sideline.
I'm losing the audience. I guess the time we waste listening to you is fake too. Here we go.
See?
That is such a woman thing to say.
Oh my God. If you wanted to get canceled today, you didn't have to take me down with you.
No, I'm just giving you an example. That's what Ben Johnson should have said to the reporter.
This is what we're doing. We finally get a playoff team in Chicago, and you just want to cancel the show. No, we moved it back from 11-1 during football. We actually have quite a few people watching us during football games, and these are the takes you want to throw out there.
They're just listening to us in the background because I send some subliminal messages along with all of our real broadcasts, very real broadcasts. They're all these are the realest broadcasts on the internet right now. They're super real.
Unbelievable.
They're almost surreal. They're so real.
You ready to get out of here?
Are we going to pick the rest of the games? No, I guess not.
What?
Next week.
How would we do that? Next week we'll be back at 11.
We are going to bring one of our fake fans onto the show. We're going to bring them onto the show, and they're going to pick the games with us next week.
All right.
Yeah,
Till next week.
Oh my
Same
God.
bad time, same bad channel.
Eat a day, man.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. See you next week.